I just surpassed 5,000 miles in the brand new 2026 Tesla Model Y Juniper, and this right here is the rear-wheel drive variant. Now, I've been a Tesla owner for over 7 years now. I've owned the old generation Model 3 and Model Y, and the new generation Model 3 and Model Y, and I gotta say, this Model Y Juniper rear-wheel drive is the absolute best out of all of them. Here in 2025, as long as you qualify for that full tax credit, and you can get this before October, it's a $39,000 car. Even if it does raise up a little bit above $40,000, this is still hard to beat. A big thanks to Enhance for sponsoring today's video. More on them later. Let's talk about the exterior of this car. Obviously, this has a brand new design. Whether you like it or not compared to the old design, it's totally subjective. A lot of people don't like the front light bar or the new redesigned rear end where it's, there's a lot of paint showing. They moved the license plate down a little bit. Nonetheless, it is still an amazing looking car. This does have a little bit more of an aggressive look. So if you like that futuristic aggressive look, this new Tesla Model Y Juniper does that job very well. Now, my Model Y here is actually wrapped in a full PPF color wrap by Test Bros. I will leave a link to that in the description below. But the original Tesla paint underneath is the free stealth gray option. So other than the front and the rear, there's not much difference. I mean, it is a Model Y, if you're familiar with them at all. Exterior cameras all around the car. This car comes with hardware 4. And the thing with Teslas, if you don't know, they've already come out and said that hardware 5 or AI 5 or even AI 6, those are the next generation camera suites that are coming to future vehicles. So a lot of people are like, oh, I shouldn't buy a Tesla because I'm waiting for the next hardware camera suite to come out. Look, if you want a Tesla, if you have the budget for it, if you need a new car, this right here is a game changer. It's the best car that you can get as far as the technology on the outside, the camera systems, the auto steer, aka autopilot technology, standard free, included on all Tesla models. But this new Tesla Model Y has one camera that the others don't, and that's the front bumper camera. It is supposedly coming in the newer Model 3s, but it does give you an added advantage. It helps when parking and backing up and pulling in spots like that. Plus, it's a little bit future-proof. They're going to include it in full self-driving in the future, so that is helpful. And one subtle detail that I love about this car is that there were no badges, no logos or anything on this car. The only lettering and badging on the car is just on here on the back side of the car. It just has the TESLA. It's pretty subtle. And when the new red light bar illuminates on it, it looks pretty cool. But that brings me to another point where it's like, yeah, Tesla added some cool new things with this Model Y, like their interior lighting and exterior lighting, the front light bar and the rear light bar. That's great and it makes for good sales and marketing, but it doesn't really affect your experience as a driver. You never see this light bar when you're driving. You never see the front light bar when you're driving. Now, a lot of people ask me why I upgraded from a brand new 2025 Model 3 that I only owned for like 4 months to a new Model Y. Well, it made sense. It was only about $5,000 out of pocket cost after I sold my Model 3 to Carvana to get this. I'm a tall guy. I've always driven sedans and I don't know why. And I'm getting older. I need something larger and bigger for me. So sitting and driving in this is way more comfortable than my Model 3. I get to see more of the road. It's a better vantage point for me as a tall guy with long legs, so I get to sit back further. And I also got a lot more cargo storage space on the inside of the car. And plus, I have 2 kids, keep car seats in it at all times, and this is just a good family trip vehicle for when we need to go somewhere with longer range than my wife's Model Y. 357 miles of estimated range. Also, one of the biggest things is this has the premium sound system on the rear-wheel drive model. The rear-wheel drive Model 3 does not have a premium sound system. It blows the standard system out of the water. With all Teslas these days, this has an automatic trunk opening. Unfortunately, it doesn't have an automatic frunk. Come on, Tesla, give us that. Now, having a rear hatch instead of a trunk is also a huge advantage over the Model 3. It just makes storing more things easier and accessible. Luggage bags, I can store all my camera equipment in here. It also comes with a parcel shelf, which is kind of finicky, but if you learn how to fold it right, it's actually not too bad. So I kind of leave that in there because it gives you some privacy. And this sub-trunk storage area is so clutch. You can store so many bags and things on a road trip in this car. And so many cars are battling the Model Y because it's one of the best selling cars in the world, and rightfully so, because it's an electric car with over 350 miles of range with all this storage space, plus the access to Tesla superchargers. It checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. Now, as we transition to the inside of the car, I want to point out the coolest part, which is not actually included with the car, even though it looks like it is. This right here is the Sexy Knob by Enhanced Automotive, a company that makes the best smart accessories for Tesla vehicles. This knob fits seamlessly in the center console and has 4 buttons along with a center knob that lets you assign different actions to each button. For example, I can use this to easily adjust the climate control, I can use it to quickly control the wipers, and even open the passenger door with the push of a button, along with dozens of other actions to choose from. They also offer these discrete buttons that can be hidden around the car to perform from over 130 different actions, such as quickly opening the glove box or quickly opening the trunk and closing it as well. Their free mobile app allows you to set all these custom actions, but the brain behind everything is the commander. It can automate different things like re-engaging the basic auto steer when changing lanes, automatically disabling autopilot when exceeding 85 miles an hour so you don't get a strike. But one of my favorites is making the new ambient interior lighting smart by adding visualizations to it. For example, it can do blind spot indication, or it can make the left and right side blink green when the turn signal is on, which is pretty helpful. If you want to make your Tesla smarter and easier to use, click the link below and use code ANDY10 to get 10% off any of these awesome accessories. And of course, one of the main benefits of having a Tesla is the access to the mobile app. It does a lot of things for your car remotely from wherever you are. Opening the frunk from my app here, easy as that. One of the best frunk storage areas in this price range. This is a huge frunk. You can fit probably 2 suitcases in here. And this one has a drain, but you know, I will probably never ever use it. I never had a case in my 7+ years of Tesla ownership where I had water in my frunk. I've actually used this as a diaper changing station for my daughter. It's the best diaper changing station. I will stand by that. Now, if you've ever sat in a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y before, then this interior is not going to be much different, especially compared to the new Model 3 Highland. It's basically the same, except this does have the turn signal stalk back. I definitely prefer having a turn signal stalk, so that's good. This doesn't have a right stalk for changing gears. That is mostly done by the car itself. It's automatic and it works really well. The car is supposed to automatically detect if you're about to go forward or backwards based on if something is behind you or in front of you. However, it's not perfect, so you can't rely on it all the time. There have been some times where I've pressed the brake and it put it in the wrong gear, but you can still change the gears on the touchscreen as long as you're going 5 miles an hour or under. Slide up for drive, slide back for reverse. It's very easy to use, but it is a little cumbersome trying to do it on a touchscreen if you're in a hurry. But the auto shift feature does work with 3-point turns as well. It's a little confusing at first, but all you got to do is make sure you're turning the wheel and pressing the brake, and it'll automatically change the gears for you, which is kind of cool. Now, the seats themselves, they're comfortable. The ventilation and the heating are amazing. Huge upgrade from the previous Model 3 from my wife's Model Y. However, my wife's Model Y seats, the old generation seats, are just more plush and more comfortable. In my opinion, these are a little bit stiffer. For long rides, I prefer the old generation Model Y seats. The headrests, they're the same, and I don't know why Tesla hasn't updated these headrests, and my wife really does hate these, and they haven't gotten better in the new one, obviously. So I sat in a Hyundai Ioniq 6, and their seats are incredibly comfortable. Like, it's almost too comfortable. It's almost unsafe because I feel like I could fall asleep. They're so comfortable. Maybe that's what Tesla's doing, is a safety feature. They're keeping us awake by stiffening our necks. It looks like the seats are kind of got some wrinkles to them as well. Another thing that I dislike about the interior of all Teslas is the left footrest on the driver's side. It puts too much pressure on my foot. My foot should go there where that is. I wish I could cut that out. Another dislike that I have about the interior is the glove box. It's comically small. Like, the opening is just narrow. It's hard to like put anything of size in there. It also, this is where the USB drive location is for Sentry mode, and it is one of the most frustrating tasks getting the USB drive back in there. The wireless phone charging area. I wish I could disable the wireless phone charging. I'd never use wireless phone charging. If I ever need to charge, I literally can just plug up my cable to the USB-C port that's in here, and it quick charges in 5-10 minutes, and that's all I need. The main reason why I want to disable it, because there's this annoying buzzing sound when you're in the car with the windows closed. My first generation Model 3 was dead silent. when you were just sitting in it because it didn't have a wireless phone charger. And I also wish there was at least one more USB-C port in this area, especially right down here. There's a little 12 volt, cigarette lighter socket. I wish there was a USB-C port in that area as well. There's one in this area and there are two in the rear. And the storage in this interior compartment is pretty generous. Now, one great new benefit of the new Model Y is the roof. They added a new protection layer and it's supposed to block out more heat. And it definitely is true. I was driving, an hour in the July heat. It was just like 100 degrees outside. And after an hour of driving, I could put my hand on the roof and it was barely warm. Premium sound system in this is absolutely incredible. Obviously the interior is controlled by this front center touchscreen display here. It has built-in navigation and maps. It is extremely responsive. It's snappy, it's quick. I have no doubt that this will hold up over time. The good thing about Tesla is having proprietary software. I mean, it just works great. It's very clear. I love having this huge screen. It's one of my favorite things about Model 3 and Model Y. And with premium connectivity, real life traffic updates, and you can of course have LTE cellular signal for data on the go. So you can listen to Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Netflix, YouTube, you name it. There's a ton of apps on the screen. Similar to the exterior lighting, the new ambient interior lighting, cool at first, but you literally just ignore it after the first few drives. You just get used to it, and it doesn't add anything to the driving experience. Now, the steering wheel itself hasn't changed much since the original Model 3. It still has the same scroll wheels that go in and out and up and down and things like that to control media and autopilot and things like that, but it has the dedicated buttons for the cameras, which is nice. You can quickly bring up the camera. It's got the voice command button right here, which is nice to have that as well, because now, since there's no driving stock, autopilot and FSD is basically just one press button on the right scroll wheel, and that's it. And it's pretty simple. I didn't like that at first, but I've gotten used to it. So this car, again, is a great family car. I'm 6'3" on a good day. Look at this. I'm in the back seat. My driver's seat is pushed back a lot. My legs fit. I mean, I have super long legs. This is incredible how I couldn't do this in my Model 3. I mean, just how comfortable it is to get in and out of this car and sit in this car. Now, another new feature of the Model Y compared to the old is the new rear screen. It's an 8-inch rear screen for the passengers in the back seat. I'm sure that will be very handy when my kids get older, but right now, I just literally have never used this rear screen ever. And this right here is one of the best features, the charge port. You know why? Because it means I don't have to buy gas. Literally, you charge overnight while you sleep. It's cheaper than gas. It's more convenient than stopping at gas stations during my normal daily driving. The only time I have to stop and charge is on a road trip, and that's only a couple times out of the year. So the vast majority of my driving, I never have to stop and disrupt my drive, my commute. Charges overnight, wake up to a full charge. Amazing. I love it. Now, the best thing about this car is driving it, or I should say, it driving you. Driving it is a great experience with the new suspension. It's like being on a cloud when you're driving compared to the old generation Model 3 and Model Y. Incredible, comfortable riding experience and driving experience. It's extremely quiet in the cabin due to all the acoustic upgrades, and I have full self-driving supervised in parentheses on this car. Okay, the $8,000 option, I was able to transfer it for free from my previous Teslas. Full self-driving, I've been critical of it in the past because, Elon has been very optimistic with his timelines, and we're not at full autonomy yet for these cars, but this car is insanely impressive when it comes to autonomous features and self-driving features. I can press a button on the touchscreen and it drives me wherever I want it to go. It's absolutely incredible. Yes, I still have to be in the seat. Yes, I have to still be ready to take over any time, but I usually don't have to do anything. It'll change lanes, it'll pass people, it pulls out of parking lots, it merges onto highways, it drives in city traffic, it stops at stop signs, it stops at stoplights, it goes in the correct turning lanes. It does basically anything that a human driver can do for the most part. I have a pretty long commute and I can let it do its thing and not have to take over, not have to touch the wheel or anything. As long as I'm, looking forward, looking at the road, paying attention. I don't know what I would do without this car. I couldn't deal with my commute on it in a normal car. It would just be absolutely mentally exhausting. This car relieves me of that. And another feature I love about FSD on this car is the auto park. If I'm, parallel parking anywhere, this does way better job than I could ever do. I mean, it's parked in like small parallel parking spots seamlessly. This is the slowest Tesla that's being made right now. I think it's 5.4 seconds officially on 0 to 60, but I'm still quicker than 95% of the cars out there. I can merge effortlessly. It's got some zing and pickup to it, no problem. I mean, it's still a super fast and quick car compared to most of the cars on the road. Other than FSD, the most impressive thing about this car is the efficiency. 357 miles of estimated range. This is nearly as efficient as the Model 3 that I had, the 2025 Model 3. For the 5,000 miles that I've had this is averaging 233 watt-hours per mile. With this being a bigger, heavier car, that is incredible. The only dislikes that I have about driving this car compared to the old model is the brake seems to be a little bit stiffer. So it's a little bit harder to hit the brake if I'm on full self-driving and I need to hit the brake to disengage full self-driving. It's taking a little bit more tries than normal because I have to put more pressure on the brake pedal. This rear-wheel drive, although it is extremely efficient, downside is only having one motor is that the regenerative braking is not as strong as a dual motor all-wheel drive Model Y. It takes a little bit more room to come to a stop if you're just relying on regen braking alone. So the regen is just not as strong as a dual motor. I think it's going to be hard to find a car that checks as many boxes as this does. For anybody looking for a midsize SUV or in this price range at all, it's not only extremely efficient, you're not paying for gas anymore, you're not paying for oil changes anymore, you get access to Tesla's vast supercharger network where, I've taken dozens of road trips over the past couple years in my Teslas, never had a problem supercharging. A great road trip vehicle. It has a very spacious interior for passengers and cargo with all of the technology inside and outside. And if you have the option of doing full self-driving subscription for $199 a month, so having this car that can drive itself pretty much for the most part and having all of the newer improvements with the comfort, it is one of the, if not the safest cars being made right now. Even if you don't have a family of 4 yet, if you think you might have one in the future, I mean, you could buy this car today and still have it 5 years from now, and it can still be an incredible car. I'm extremely satisfied with this car. That is my review of the 2026 Tesla Model Y Juniper. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more Tesla and tech videos in the future, make sure you subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you out, or if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments below what you decided to do, if you're getting one, if you've gotten one. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Andy. I'll talk to you in the next one.